I've seen so many content creators talking about how they quit their job without a plan and then had a happily ever after that I had to make this video. You see, 7 years ago, I was depressed and having severe anxiety for the first time in my life. And 7 years ago, I was 25 years old with a deployment to Afghanistan under my belt. But like so many of my other millennial brethren out there, I found myself in a situation where I was overworked, undervalued, and underpaid. So what did I do? I up and quit without a plan. And no, I did not have a happily ever after, all right? In fact, I had about 2 years of struggle and some debt. But let's step back a little bit. So when I was 25, I had just graduated college with a degree in business administration. The most useless degree ever. Guys, get skills over a business degree. Just trust me on that one. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, so I just shot out a bunch of resumes everywhere and was going to take any offer that was over $40,000 and in an office. And lo and behold, I accepted an offer for $45K for an office job. The title was Corporate Returns Manager. And if you guys don't know what a corporate returns manager is, I mean, why would you? It's a super fluff title. I was in charge of a bunch of stores' returns department. I'd make sure that the bad stuff that got returned to the store would get sent out to the manufacturer that it was purchased from, and we'd get either a replacement for the product or a credit. And that job was about as fun as it sounded, guys. Trust me on that one. But fast forward about a year, and all of the shortcomings of that job are becoming apparent. I did some research on the position, and the ceiling was about $62,000 a year. So I was a little older now. I was 26. And around that age, you start thinking about the future. You start thinking about what you actually want to do, where you see yourself, and how you're going to get there, the most important part, because you're working towards that. And the future that I saw for myself was just not possible with this position. So I started to think about that. Every day I would go into the office, and the work was boring. It was mind-numbing, repetitive, redundant. And the worst part of it all was that there was no transferable skills from that job that I could use to improve my situation. Like, that was the definition of a dead-end job. It had a ceiling and no real transferable skills. If you guys ever find yourself in that situation, those are red flags, man. If there's nothing in it for you, if there's no benefit to you, avoid that job at all costs and save yourself the headache. But I was stuck now, right? I had taken on some debt. I started buying stuff. I assumed I was going to be working this job for a while, so I got stuck by the golden handcuffs. I guess the 45K a year ones are more like silver handcuffs, right? But I was stuck, and I couldn't just quit. So every day I was like begrudgingly going to work. I did not want to go in. I'd have to force myself to go in. And that's when the real demons started to come out. Before I went to work, I'd like drink a mimosa so I could deal with it. And even when I got there, man, I was just down in the dumps all day long. And then the breaking point came when my grandma was put into the hospital. And she did eventually pass. But when she got sick, I took some time off. I think it's a couple days off, and then she passed. And I took 2 weeks off to kind of handle and process everything. And I'll never forget it. I walked into my office and looked at my desk, and there was just a fat stack of invoices sitting there. It was like this thick. So I didn't even go to my desk. I just walked into the warehouse. We had like this little section in the warehouse where some of the returned items would come in. And I walked into the little room, and it was, for real, 2 pallets that were stacked from floor to like ceiling with items that needed to be processed. And I was just like, whoa, man. And that was when I really felt it. Like, everything in me was telling me, like, this is not it. This is not the move. This is not where we need to be. I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it. I don't know if you guys can see that on the new camera. I'm getting actual goosebumps right now just thinking about it. How, like, there was so much emotion in that moment. And everything in me, I'm not even a big believer of destiny or fate or anything, but everything in me was telling me it's time to go, man. And so I took what I knew was going to be my last look around that room. I didn't touch a single item on those pallets. I went and set up my desk for the rest of the day and just started thinking about the future, man. And then when I went home that day, the next morning, I sent my boss a text and said, I'm done. I'm out. I quit. I'm done. And I had no plan. And what came afterwards was absolute chaos. So quitting without a plan did not immediately make things better. In fact, it made things substantially worse. All right, because I only had about 2 months of savings tucked away. So I had to figure out how I was going to survive. Number one thing I had to do was get a job. But this time I wanted to find something that at least aligned with my interests. So I was looking for jobs that I wanted to do while under the stress and the pressure of my money running out. Not a good mix, my guys. Not a good mix, man. My mental health plummeted for like 2 weeks. I shouldn't be laughing. It's a serious issue. I was in the gutter, bro. I had such a negative outlook. I didn't think I was going to make it out. You know, I sent out so many applications and resumes for like the first month and didn't hear anything back. And then when month 2 rolled around, I was straight panicking. I was sweating. I didn't know how I was going to survive. Oh, man, it was rough. But in my panic, I did do some things that drastically changed the course of my life. I knew I wanted to pursue something that I was interested in, so I created this list of things that I wanted to try, ideas. One of them was opening a gym. Another one was learning how to code and make websites. Yeah. Another one was making YouTube content. Yeah. And from that point onward, I decided to move forward in that direction, pursuing those interests. And at the top of the list was gym. Somehow, some way, by the end of month 2, I had found a job teaching martial arts. It was like a learn and earn job. They were going to train you for like the first year here. You're going to get like a year of training, and then you're going to take over teaching some of the classes. I was like, that's perfect. I want to open a gym. I'm going to need something unique to offer. So somehow, some way, by the end of month 2, right before my finances were literally about to completely run out, I got a job offer teaching martial arts, which was super cool. Something I was interested in and something that I wanted to learn and wanted to do. But there was a catch. You see, I had built up this lifestyle making $45,000 a year, and this position only paid like $14 an hour. And that's where the debt comes in. So when I took this job, I had to figure out some way to keep paying for everything that I had. My car, my rent. And for that first like 2 or 3 months, I was using my credit card a lot more than I needed to. It hurt. It took me a few years to recover from those few months. But we got through it. And I'll say this, being broke teaches you how to be really good with your money, man. You learn how to cut unnecessary things out of your budget. You learn how to use that 2% cash back on your credit card, and it makes you savvy. You learn how to survive on very little. Things eventually start taking off with the martial arts job. I ended up getting up to like $20 an hour, and then I started looking into actually opening up a gym. I was planning it. I was looking at locations. I was thinking about things I wanted to do. I was thinking about ways to get people in, and then COVID hit. And COVID axed all of my gym plans. And then I felt like I was back at square one. I didn't know what to do. I looked at my list, went to the next thing, boom, web development. So then I figured, hey, I'll teach myself how to code. Why not? It's something I've been interested in. And fast forward, I started making YouTube content while I was coding. Now I'm a web developer that makes YouTube content. So, yeah, I quit my job without a plan, and I paid for it for like 2 years. It was hard. So if you guys are in a situation where you absolutely hate your job and you don't have any savings, you don't have a plan, you don't know what you're going to do, but you know you want to quit, I'm not going to tell you it's the wrong thing to do because I did it. But at least try to have a plan. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.